Today we're going to be making Vetkoek Steak Sliders with the creamy horseradish mayo. We're going to put some rocket in there and we're going to shave parmesan on it. We're also going to be taking that steak and getting it on the coals over there so that it can sear it. Well, this is our family recipe passed down from my grandmother to my mother, and it saves you at least an hour and a half. So for that quick and easy Vetkoek recipe, come join us. So, you know, in my normal recipes, I use my hands, but when it comes to baking, I make sure to get measurements right. So here we've got cups and teaspoons and tablespoons. So to this, we add 2 cups, and this will make around about 8 to 10 portions, depending on the size. That's 2 cups. Then we have plain white sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, grinding of salt. It must be 1 teaspoon of grinding of salt. So let's get on to the wet ingredients. So the wet ingredients are pretty easy. It's 2 large eggs and a cup of milk. Let's get those eggs in there. Okay, and let's get the milk in there. A cup of milk. All right, let's just whisk up our dry ingredients. Mix all the baking powder in there. Right, let's whisk this up. Break this egg. All right, let's whisk that up. Okay, let's get that in the dry ingredients. Okay, mix that in there till it forms a nice consistency. All right, that's what we're looking for. All right, this is spilling all over me. This is sunflower oil. So we've got 750 ml sunflower oil here. We are going to top it up completely with this whole bottle. Let's get that to temp and we'll get stuck in. Well, our little tester came out nice and golden, so I think we can put the rest in. Okay, let's get him in there. Look at this slow sizzle, that's what you want. Okay, let's give it some time on that side and then we can turn it around. So it's about 3 minutes and I'm going to give it a turn. All right, that's it, look at that. That's quite nice and crispy. And the thickness is nice as well. Because these are sliders, right? They're not Vetkoeks. Vetkoeks are quite big like that. These are sliders, but I've made them a little bit bigger than your normal slider. All right, let's get that golden brown. So another 3 minutes or so and it is done. Look at it. Look at that. And listen, I think he's ready to take out. And look at these lovely gnarly bits. That's going to be crunchy and delightful. Okay, let's get this out. Transfer it into a colander with some kitchen paper. Look at that. Hey? Gorgeous. And it's puffed up nicely. Look at the size of it. It's puffed up so nicely. I'm going to cut that in half and it's going to reveal itself in its glory. It's going to be crunchy. All right, let's get the rest in. Finish off a couple and then we'll show you the end result. Well, as you can see, we have prepped 3 already. They came out gigantic size. Yes, my size portioning was a little bit off. So we've got 3, 4, 5. And you can get, if you're half this, you can at least get 10. So there we go. Okay, these guys are ready. Look at how nicely they've puffed up. Lovely, let's get them out. All right, so now we're going to make the horseradish mayo. Well, let's get stuck in. Let's take 2 egg yolks. We can just separate the white from the yolk. This is another method you can use. You can just pour the egg yolk the egg whites through your fingers. To that we add 2 tablespoons of Dijon. Now that we've added the Dijon mustard, it's time to whisk that. Just let that combine very nicely together. Then we slowly add, while vigorously whisking, a cup of canola oil. So we're going to pour this in slowly because we want it to emulsify. Is it not a whisker? Yeah. Holy smoke, but a person's arm does get sore whisking, but the sacrifice is worth it. After 2 weeks of whisking, we've got some consistency that we're looking for. About like that. To that we're going to add a tablespoon of creamed horseradish. Let's mix that in there. And a squeeze of lemon. About a teaspoon of squeezed lemon. Right, I think the important part is to taste and see if you're happy with that flavor. You know what? It needs a little bit more horseradish. I'll put another tablespoon of that in. Okay. Mix that in. In all honesty, it needs a touch of lemon and just a grinding of salt. And I think that will make all the difference. Let's taste that. Perfect. Tangy, sweet, mustardy. Those flavors are really coming through. Into the fridge with this bad guy. Here we've got a lovely sirloin steak on the bone. And the bone makes such a world of difference. It keeps the steak lovely and tender. It cooks the steak from the inside, so the bone is super important. We'll cut it off the bone eventually and slice it in thin slices to be put in a delicious Vetkoek. So just add a touch of olive oil to the steak. This ensures that the steak doesn't stick on the grid. Grinding of salt on both sides, quite liberally. A grinding of black pepper. This is how I like my steak, pure, without any spices or sauces at this moment. Absorb all the salt and the pepper, and let's get this guy onto the grid. Oh, that sizzle! That's when you know your coals are ready. So we're going to let this go for about 2 minutes. Swap it over and take a look if it's done or not. We want it medium rare. That's how I like our steaks. All right, so that was about 2 minutes. We've got a nice sear on it. Yes, baby. Look at that. Fantastic. Let's swap it, put it on the other side. And also don't forget to render that fat down. All right, it's done on that side. The fat is rendered down nicely. Into the plate it goes. And we're going to rest that for 10 minutes. Cover it with some foil so you don't lose the heat of the steak. Right? Otherwise you're going to have a cold steak. Well, we've been waiting for this moment. The steak is done. It's rested. So let's get things assembled. Let's do the unveiling of the lovely steak. Yes. Rendered nicely. You can see the juices have come out there. Right, let's get it sliced up. So we're going to take it off the bone. Let's take it over there. Let's get him sliced up lovely thin slices. Yeah, look at that delicious steak, thinly sliced. Now that we've got our steak all cut up, we are going to slice one of these bad boys in half. Delicious. Now we're going to smother the lovely horseradish mayo sauce on the bottom half. Put some rocket there. Now, the piece de la resistance, the steak. Pile it on there. Now we're going to take some lovely Parmigiano Reggiano. Let's sliver it on there. slivers. I'm totally missing, but I'll get them on there now. Oh man, those flavors are going to be fantastic. Let's just pile them on there. Put that together. Let's give that a tasting. Get a nice crunchy gnarly bits over there. Let's taste it. Heaven. And crispiness. With the horseradish, with the mustard coming through. That pepperiness. That steak. The delicious, tender, lovely steak. What a summer dish. It's actually quite light. It's quite fluffy and crispy. Quick and easy to make. And I must tell you, this Vetkoek is a winner. A 20-minute Vetkoek. If you want more of this, and I certainly do, please come follow us, subscribe, and enjoy our travel, trails, and tastes. See you on the next episode.